And I want to start with the multiplication table. How can I work with that? How can I do it? Let's get the user input from the user. We know we can using n equals int input. We can ask user to enter the number, and thereafter, how can you do it? Mm, we start from 0. I is equal 0. So while I less than or equals to 15, let's say 15, we're gonna print we're gonna print the now I, comma, the number, we don't need the spaces. Okay, right now we forgot to increase the value. I plus C equals 1. Right, now we will be able to get the multiplication table the other way, n multiplied by I, n multiplied by I. Yes, if it is whatever what you want, you can get it like this. Right. Now we are done with the first one. Now multiplication table we have done. Now calculate the factorial value for any given number. Now that's what we need to do now. Right now, if it is factorial 5, that is calculated by 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Think of a way to do this. Okay, two answers already there. Okay, now how can we calculate the factorial? Right, now by looking at the example given here also, you would be able to see. Right now, if it is factorial 1, it is 1. If it is factorial 2, that means 2 into 1. If it is factorial 3, that means 3 multiplied by 1. Right, then, right. Now let's ask user to enter the number. Then we can set I is equals to n. And then we can say I is greater than 0. And right now, then there is no factorial values for negative values as well. Right now, that we will validate later on. Then factorial value is, we will declare factorial fact is 1. So factorial is equals to factorial multiplied by I. Okay, I'll start I by equals I. Okay, I. And then factorial multiply equals I, right? Multiply equals I. And then we can say I minus equals 1. Then we could say print factorial n is this should be 120, 24. If it is 3, it should be 6. If it is 2, it should be 2. If it is 1, it should be 1. If it is 0, it should says factorial 1. But now if it is a negative answer also, now it will give you answer as 1 because this won't work. No? So we can use if condition. First, if okay, we are not going to validate, right? Positive number to calculate to find factorial. Right now, we ask user to enter the positive number to find the factorial. Then it would give you the answer. Right. Now, if you enter 5, then initially 1 into 5, and then 1 into 5 into 4, 1 into 5 into 3. Likewise, you will be getting the answer. All right. In other way, right now this is the one way of doing it. We could do the other way as well. I can start by I is equals to 1, and while I is less than or equals to the n, and factorial into I plus c equals 1. I plus c equals 1. By doing so, you can find out the same answer. See? Both gives you the same. Right. So this is how you can calculate the factorial using the while loop. Right. Now quickly try out for the keep on asking a number from the user and then calculate the sum and average for every time user inputs a number until user enters 0, and thereafter try this pattern. Okay. Try out quickly. Any questions? If it is not clear, you can ask. Right. I see many problems in this code.
That value of n is not updated now, so like n should be made equal to n times n minus 1.
Okay, we'll start from the first line. Any issues with the first line? Any issues with the first line?
No issues.
Right. Okay, and there's no issue in the first line. Second line blank. No? Third line.
We can't use capital W in while, I
We
think.
can't use. Yes, this has to be simple WY. That's why you get this error, syntax error. Then any other issues in this line?
Semicolon is used instead of colon.
Yes, semicolon instead of colon. Right. Now, any other issue in this one? There is no any syntax errors. right? How many times this will run? But there's a logical error. How many times this loop will run? What do you think? How many times?
Infinite.
Infinite. Yes. Why is it? Why this will run infinitely?
Because the value of n is not updated. Do
Yes,
we do
the
that?
n value never get updated. You get the n as the input number, and here you have it, and then this is never get updated. Therefore, this will run infinite. And the other thing, whatever you are doing here is not updated anywhere because you are not stored in this in anywhere. No? It will get calculated every time. It get calculated and discarded. Calculated, discarded. Calculated, discarded. Now, if you run this as it is, um, now you can see the loop is running infinitely. That's why nothing showed here, but the cursor is blinking. See? Right. Let me stop this. Right now, here if you say n equals n minus equals 1, if you put right number 5, then answer will be 0 because when until answer n becomes 0, you won't get the answer. You are printing n value. No, here it won't get displayed. How can we correct it? You can get the input number. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can just print it here if you don't want to store somewhere. Print n into n minus 1 and n minus equals 1, and then this is it. Again, 5 into 420. Okay, that is also won't give me the answer. Mhm. Right, so we can have f equals 1. F equals f multiplied by, we are starting from n. Again, you're right, this is the number. Dulaj, you got the point?
Yes, I got the one. How to stop the infinite
Control
thing
C.
running? Control C. Okay.
Control C. Here, Control C would give you the keyboard interrupt. Okay, then okay, now we are here. Keep on asking a number from the user until user enters 0 as the input. Quickly do it. Right? Now, because you when the number is equal to 0, also you increase the count or the round by 1. So that's why you need to here do it like this. Whatever the number added, you need to remove. That's why here you are doing round minus 1. Right. Okay. Right. Now, in order to do this, you need to know how to print on print in the same line as well as how to go right now. Normal print method will print and go to the next line. Therefore, how to stay in the same line also you have to learn. Right. Then before that, is this clear? and then let's keep this question, and then we will do it in another way as well, because there are another two keywords that we have to learn. Break and continue. Okay, we'll leave this question for a while, and we'll do this. Right now, there are two conditions that you need to remember. Right now, with the while loop, we have break keyword. Right now, for an example, if let's say I is equals to 1, I is equals to 1, and then if you have while loop, then let's say I less than 10, I less than 10, and just to print the I value, and then you increase the I value by 1, and there is a, if you can't hear me, let me know. I plus C equals 1. Right? Now, this is the basic loop that we have learned. If you run this now, it will print up to 10. If you put the equal sign as well, it will print up to 10. Equal sign was 9. Right. So, let's say if I want to stop when I equals 5, then if I put if I say I equals 5, then if I use the keyword break, what happens is it will immediately exit from the loop. Now, once I become 5, the condition become true, then it will immediately stop the loop. Therefore, remember, write down when the break statement hits inside a loop. When the break statement hits inside the loop, it will stop the loop immediately. If you hit the break statement, it will stop the loop immediately. Right. Now, this is how we could use the break statement. Right now, let's say I wanted to display, again I set to 1. I only wanted to display the even numbers. Let's say first I'm going to start from 0. I only wanted to display the even numbers, right? Now I plus equals 1, I'm going to say from 1 to 10 numbers. Then I'm going to use if condition. If I only odd numbers, let's say, if I modulus 2, if it is equals to 0, if I modulus 2 equals to 0, if it is a even number, I'm going to say continue. Right now, if I hit the continue keyword, it will ignore the current iteration and continue with the next. Right now, let's see. Now, the first one, is stopped by 5, because once I become 5, the break keyword hits. Once it hits the break keyword, stop the loop. It will stop the loop. Stop the loop. Right. If we hit the continue keyword, stop the current iteration. Oh, ignore, not stop. We can say ignore the current iteration. And continue with the next. Right. Now what happens here? Now once it reaches initially when I equals 0, first a 0 less than or equals than true, then you increase I value by 1, then I become 1. You check the condition, no. 1 modulus 2 not equals 0, therefore if condition is not satisfied, it goes to print I, then it prints 1. Then I again increase 1 less than or than true, then I become 2. 2 modulus 2 equals 0, true. So it's gonna hit the continue keyword. It's gonna hit the continue keyword. Once it hit the continue, right now what happens? Right now continue. Right now break. We'll have it like this, otherwise we will lose it. Right now, once it when I become 2, 2 modulus 2 equals 0 true, then it continues. Therefore, it will ignore the rest of the iteration. It goes to the next iteration. It will ignore the current iteration. Whatever the rest of the part to complete, it will ignore and it will move to the next iteration. That's what happens. Let's say for an example, when if you want to skip 3, when you say if I equals to 3, if I equals to 3, you want to skip 3. Then you can see it will skip 3 and then 1, 2, 3 hit because the printing part ignored and then it goes to the next iteration. That is how this works. Right now, the previous question. When you want to stop, when user enters a 0, right? Now, how can you do that? Or when okay, let's try out that. Uh, when stop when the program when user enters the negative number, let's say I'm gonna write this we'll write the previous one. Which one? Which was it? Get the sum and the average. No. Okay. We have total equals 0. Average we don't need. Right. Count is equal 0. And then we can have while loop. We can say always true. Condition is always true. So we can get the input. Name equals input. We can get the number and then we can check whether if number equals 0. If number equals 0, we need to break. Otherwise, total plus equals n and count plus equals 1. So we can say print what? Total and average. Right now here also you may have validations if by any chance if you enters at the very beginning, you will have a problem, right? Because if the count is set as 0, no, then divide by 0 error will come. Therefore, keep that in your mind as well. When you are doing actually, you need to handle that scenario as well. Average is equals to total divide by count. total divided by count. And now previously in your scenario we had to round minus 1, we had to use round minus 1. But now I'm not going to continuing these lines, therefore I'm breaking. If I'm stopping the program at this point, therefore I don't need to have round minus 1, like count minus 1, likewise. Then if I say if count is less than 0, if count is less than or equals to 0, if count is already 0, no, we don't have the less than 0. If count is equals to 0, count is greater than 0. So count is greater than 0, we need to do this. Else we can say no inputs. Right, none, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 0. Once you enter 0, it will stop. Total is 55, average 5.5. Now you can see here, because you can just use the break keyword whenever you hit the whenever you enter 0. Right. Okay, let's say now you're gonna keep the number. You're gonna initially you're gonna store number as guess, and then that's a secret. And thereafter you're gonna ask user to enter number, and then once user enter the number, if it is you're gonna check with the number, and if it is not equals to the get secret, then you're gonna say try again until you enter the correct number. Therefore, it will keep asking you to enter number and guess the secret. Once you enter the correct number, the program has to stop and has to display you win. Try out quickly. Now, the question is, keep on asking a number, keep on asking a guess until and keep on asking a guess. There's the secret. If the number, if the guess is correct, print you correct guess and stop. Right, do this thing, right? You need to ask username and password. If user enters the correct username and password, you need to display login, welcome user, and stop asking username and password. If the username and password is incorrect for 3 attempts, you need to say account locked or 3 attempts exceeded or something like that. User suspended or something. Let's say you suspended, account suspended. And yes, you have display account suspended. Okay, try out these two quickly and send me the answer via chat, please.
Excuse me, sir. What does it mean that when we say
Sorry?
while true, in that first example we did,
This
we say
one for
while true. Yeah, on the top we write to calculate the total until we input 0.
I can't hear you properly. Can you speak a little bit loud?
Alright, sir. I'm asking, sir, why are we typing while true a
Here you
condition for
are
the
asking
first
while
time?
true because I have
Yeah.
made the loop is always true.
Okay.
Therefore, infinitely this will run. It will ask user to enter the number. Once input is 0, I put the break keyword. Then it will stop from there.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Then here, if you do not put the break keyword here, now this will infinitely run. You see,
Alright, so got it.
right now I have entered without number. I have pressed enter. That's why the invalid input type. Now, if you have now here, I have put while true. I have indicated like that because in order to run infinitely, because then always condition is true because I am stopping the program using this.
Okay. Right,
Okay,
sir.
right.
Okay.
You need to ask user to enter the username and this also done. Right. Username and password, and only 3 attempts you are giving. If exceeded 3 attempts with incorrect username and password, it should display account suspended. How can you do that? You can say attempt attempts equals attempts 3, and then we'll start from 0. While attempts less than 3, you get the username and the password. Username input username, and we need the password as well. Password, and then you're gonna check what if un equals admin and password equals 1 2 3 4. You're gonna say welcome, and you need to break, yes, otherwise else. Try again. No, we can say incorrect. And importantly, we need to increase the attempts by 1. Attempts plus c equals 1. And we are done with this here. And then we can have in the while loop condition false. While loop we can have else this right back here, and then we can say account suspended. Only thing is I need to double check with this here right now. If we break, will it display else? Otherwise, right. Password is equals to with 1 equals and you are using assignment operator, right? Username something, password something, username something, password something. Incorrect, try again. Incorrect, try again part, we'll remove incorrect. Username or password. After 3 attempts, password admin 1234. Well, right. We could do this. Like additionally, what I did was right now I have put the else for the while loop. In for the while loop, else statement triggers when the condition falls. When this condition falls, then you can if you want to trigger something, you can use the else statement after while else, like if else we have used. While else, that means when the condition of the while loop false, else statement get triggered. Right now, okay, print even numbers using the country for user given range. That means you have to ask user to the first number and the last number, and then you need to display the right now I got the answer for this again. Right now, let's try that one as well. I equals 1, I less than no equals 3, input enter the number, mean and 1, 2, 3, welcome, break, invalid username or password. Right, account suspended, you display. Pute, the problem here is now in this code, let me comment out my code, right? Now, the problem is right now in your case, if you enter admin 1, 2, 3, 4, it says welcome account suspended. Yeah. If you are not using if else statement here, you could have used if I is equals to 3, if I equals to 3, and then do this. Because you always increase I value by 1, then you would have changed the code right like this. Now, if it is for the first one, welcome only. Right, my bad. What is it? You get the password as an input. Right. Invalid username or password. Right now, I starting from you are starting from 3, then already I is equals to, then here you have to do it by 4 because you are starting from 3, in this scenario you can start from I is equals 0, I less than 3, and then that would be correct the code. Account suspended. Right. Likewise, you can correct now. You have to do it this part. If I equals 3, right?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in my code, when I enter admin, it gives an error. Can you advise me why is that?
Have you sent me the code?
Yes, I just now sent it.
Right. In your code right now, you get the username and the password. Why are you taking username and password at the first place? Yeah. Inside the loop also you are taking, no? This is unnecessary, no? Anyway, this will get replaced from here, no? Then we don't need it. What is the problem now we are getting? Anyway,
When I
if I is equals to 3, this will triggers. Okay. Now, you don't need to put the break statement anyway here. Input username, password, 1, 2, only because I is equals to 1, I less than or equals 3. Only 2 times it triggers. Why? Because when it becomes 3, it breaks. Therefore, it won't go for the third attempt. Right now, one problem. The area I'm seeing as a problematic here. Now the areas. Right now, you get the username and password. Now here you I equals 3, then I less than or equals 3, fine. You increase every time the attempt by 1, fine. Then you just print welcome, and then you won't stop here. Then here you should have put the break keyword, because if the correct username and password entered, it has to stop. No? Then that part is not there. And even at the beginning, when I starting from 1, first time when I is equals to 1, you enter the username. Now this is when I is equals to 1. Once you enter this, I value become 2. Now I value become 2. Now once you enter these 2, I value become 3. And then here you check else if this is not match, you check whether if I is equals 3, account suspended. That's why here it prints account suspended. And once I equals 3, anyway, it will stop from this condition. Therefore, no point of doing this. Because no point of this break statement, useless. Because anyway, it will stop from this while.
so
So, you
when I
can
give
correct.
the correct answer, it gives error.
Sorry?
When I give the correct answer, when I use username as admin,
Uh-huh.
then it gives error.
Okay,
That's what
we'll
I am
see.
asking.
Right, now what you are saying, let me clear all drawings. Okay, now when you enter the correct answer, admin and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, it says welcome. And again, it asks user to enter because why? Here you just display print welcome and the loop continues. Therefore, it will ask again, you can enter something here. See, and then it will stop. Right now, that is because of now here. Here you should have put the break keyword. Break. You should stop the program by here. When the admin username and the password matches, you should stop the program from here. And then you don't need this anyway. After this, you could have a statement after this. Just give me a minute. Right. Then if you okay, then this would sort it out, right? Let's see. Username, wrong password, wrong username, wrong password, account suspended. Why is it I less than or equals to 3? If I equals 1, this become okay, this becomes 0. Equals 300. Right now, can someone tell me why it stops from 2?
Initially, I has to be 0. I equal to 0.
Okay, initially, okay, if you have said I as 1, initially this become I equals 1, then first time when you take I become 2. Second times it takes I become 3. 3 less than or equals to 3 should be true, right? Here, what I'm arguing is initially when you I equals 1, then once you enter the username and password for the first time, it become I become 2. And again, when you enter the username and password for the second time, when I become 3. 3 less than or equals to 3. 3 less than or equals 3 is true, right? Yes, where we made the mistake. Why it runs only 2 attempts? Anyone? Help me on this. Can someone tell me why this only runs 2 attempts?
So when I equals to 3, at the last, if I equals to 3, it will print account suspended and stop.
Because then that should print after the while loop, no? This triggers after the while loop, no? Okay, that means while loop finishes when I equals 3. Now, my concern is why here you have less than or equals to 3, why it won't run 3 times. Now, can someone answer me?
So is it is equals 0?
I equals 1. Okay, now here, right now, here when I run this program, right now, let's see, let's clear this on. Right now, I'm going to enter 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. 3, 3, 3, 3. That's what I was wondering. Yes, it gives you 3 attempts. And why this not gives you when I equals 3? Because I become 4 at the point here it stops. Therefore, here it has to be I equals 4. When we do it like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4. The count suspended. Right now, because at the point, because you're starting from 1, then while loop finishes when I equals 3. So, and again, when you run this, it will increase I value by 1, then I become 4. Then it says the count suspended. But rather using while loop, you can have another string or a flag, a Boolean variable or something like that. Or something like this. If it is, you can say flag equals true or flag equals false likewise, and then you can check here if flag is false. Let's say if it is false, and then if you before you make it break, you're gonna say flag is equals to true. And then if you want, you can say if not flag. Right now, you use a Boolean variable just to keep this thing rather using I equals 3. Likewise, here you can check. Okay, Nuraj, you got it?
Yes, I got it.
All right. Right, then the next question. Let me erase this and we'll have it until we go for the next one. We have done with the even numbers using continue for user given range. You need to ask user to give the start value and the end value, and thereafter you need to display only the even numbers. Get the user range from the user. Start and the end, both values you need to get. Okay. Right, now, okay, only one of you have sent the answer, right? Enter minimum number, maximum number, right? Very easy question, right? Now it won't take much time. You get the minimum and maximum numbers. I is equals to 1. Okay. Do you need that? Do you need that? Right, now let's run this and see. 10 and 20, 10, 12, 14, only even numbers, right? Oh, you have to use continue keyword, right? You have to use the continue keyword. Then this is wrong. We can ignore if x modulus 2 equals 1, we can say continue. And do we need to increase x and I both by? Therefore, let's remove I, and then we can say while x less than or equals to y, x plus equals 1, right? 10 and 20. Right, now what is the problem here now? Yes, because x plus equals y should be here. Because once you put the continue, it will hit. Right, now there's the issue now. Because always it will start from the, okay, 11, right? It will start from, you will miss 10. You will miss 10. So, yeah, how can you do that? How can you do this one? Even numbers using continue for the given range. Anyone else?
So I also sent the answer.
Sorry?
I also sent the answer, sir, for this one.
Okay. Let me check the answers. Right, start range equals 0, range equals start, and print range. The same thing, right?
Here also the first number won't print.
Yes, because the thing is like you before you go to the print statement, you print no. Then that's why then you have to say x equals x minus 1. If you mention it like that, it will work. Because right then 10 also get printed. Because here we increase the x value by 1 at the beginning. Otherwise, if you do not do the increment here, when this condition become true scenarios, it will never increase. Therefore, the loop will be an infinite loop. Okay, then right, we are done with this as well. Keep on asking a number, ignore negative numbers, stop for 0, and for other inputs. Right, then print the number and add to the total. Do it quickly. Keep on asking a number, ignore negative numbers, and stop for 0. For other inputs, print the number and add to total. Then we need to do this. What is x equals 0? Where do you use x? Do you use x anywhere? I don't see. You print here as well. No, right? Total. It has to be supposed to be total. Total equals 0. Okay, what you do while true to get the input, and if it is a negative number, right, you're gonna continue, ignore it, right? If the number is equal to 0, if the number is equal to 0, you're gonna break, stop, okay, else. Right now, print number, you print the number, total equals total plus number, right, and then you're going to print the total. Let's say enter number 1, 2, 3. Why is that? Total is not defined. Yes, total. Zero stops. If it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it has to be 55. Ah, I'm not going to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, 0. Right, total is 15. Right, correct. Good. Any other answers? Right, then displaying this pattern right now. Okay, first of all, since we don't know how to use this, shall I print it like this? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, shall we print like this format quickly? And thereafter, we will try to learn how to use the print statement. Then, how can we print this? I want you to print this pattern. How can you do it? We can say I is equals to 1. I think last time we started doing this, right? Then while I less than, we need to do it for 5, right? Then 1 I less than or equals to 5. And then I need to print the, okay, each time to keep the spaces and print. So we can have j is equals to 1 while j is less than or equals to I. Right, now let's say j less than 4, j less than 5 I have. J less than or equals to 5. And then I have print j. We're going to print an asterisk. Right, and then here we need to print an empty line to have the spaces. And then I need to increase by 1, I plus c equals 1, and j also has to increase by 1. J plus c equals 1. Right. Right, now what happens here is that there are inconsistencies. Right, now what happens is now every time now it prints. Right, 5 asterisks now every time. First while loop runs for the first time when I is equals to 1, j value become 1 and it print 5. Right, 5 asterisks. Right, because it prints 1 and j value get increased by 1, the second asterisk. And again, because every time this loop get a chance to run, it runs for 5 times. Then you will get 5 stars printed, line after line. And it from the first while loop, it gives you a space. And again, right, the I value get increased now. Again, when 1 less than 5, 2 less than or equals to 1 less than or equals to 5 first time. Right now, this is when you have 1 less than or equals to 5. This is when 2 less than or equals to 5. I values I'm talking, yeah? 3 less than or equals to 5, 4 less than or equals to 5, and 5 less than or equals to 5, and thereafter becomes 6. So 6 less than or equals to 5 fails. 6 less than or equals to 5 fails. Right, now this is how it looks like. Now this is how it works. And each time when the this while loop, inner while loop get a chance to run, now it prints asterisk after asterisk for 5 times. Now this is how it prints. Right now every time you can see there are 5 times it works. Right, now if I want to change it not to display 5 times, now based on the I value, then if I have put I, right, now let's write down first. Now initially I value is set to 1, then 1 less than I means I less than or equals to 5 we have, no? Then 1 less than or equals to 5. When it is true, j value is set to 1. Now j value is set to 1. So j value is set to 1, no? J less than or equals to j less than or equals to I, no? Here we have then there j value is set to 1. Therefore, 1 less than or equals to I value is 1. Therefore, only one time this loop runs. Therefore, it has to print only one asterisk. Then I value get increased by 1. Then I value get increased by 1. Then I become 2. 2 less than or equals to 5. Then 2 less than or equals to 5. That is true. Then again j value set to 1. And now j value is checking from j value is set to 1, then 1 less than or equals to 2. Therefore, this is only one time. Now here 1 less than or 2, then 2 less than or equals to 2. Then here it's going to print 2 times. Then it's going to print 2 asterisks. Now, the next time 3 less than or equals to 5. That is true. So when again j value is starting from 1 less than or equals to I value is 3, no? 3, 2 less than or equals to 3, and 3 less than or equals to 3. Therefore, this is going to run 3 times. The next time here 3 asterisks at a stretch. Right. Then again 4 less than or equals to 5. Right, that is true. So here again j value become 1. 1 less than or equals to 4. 2 less than or equals to 4. 3 less than or equals to 4. And 4 less than or equals to 4. Likewise, this is going to print 4 asterisks. Right, now the next time when I say I become 5, 5 less than or equals to 5, that is true. When you get an opportunity to run, again I less than or equals to 5, 2 less than or equals to 5, 3 less than or equals to 5, 4 less than or equals to 5, and 5 less than or equals to 5. Likewise, this will run 5 times. And finally, I become 6, then 6 less than or equals to 5 become false. Now, this is how it's going to run. Okay, let's see whether it works now. Right, now let's save this one and see now. Yes, 1 asterisk, 2 asterisks, 3 asterisks, 4 asterisks, and 5 asterisks. Right, now what I want to do is I want to print on the same line. I want to print on the same line. So, in order to print on the same line, there's a parameter right now. When it comes to Python print method, right? Now we haven't discussed that. No, we have always using by print method. No, but then we haven't discussed about the print method, right? Print method is a built-in function available in Python, right? Now here there are multiple parameters that we can pass in the print method. Right now, for an example, here you could pass in the print method. Right now, inside the print method, here you could pass. Right now, here inside this you can pass any variable. Then you can say any variable or any value. You can pass a value, and then you can have separator. You can have a separator. How you gonna separate? And also you can pass end. That means what to print at the end, whether you're going to go to the new line or you want to have any specific format at the end. And also we can have whatever, if you want to pass any files, you can pass the files. And if you want optionally, you can have the flush. That means you can have a boolean value called a boolean value, which is a flush. Right now, these are optional values. Now, remember, because we have not passed all these values so far, we have been only use these values. Right now, what are the values we have passed? Only the value we have passed. Right now, these values are optionals. Now, separator. Right now, separator means here how to separate the objects. Right now, let me write down as well. Then you could note down as well if you want. Separator means how to separate. How to separate. How to separate values. How to separate values. Default is space. Default is just a space. Default is just a space. That is how you separate the values. End. End means what to print and how to end. What to print at the end. Right. Default is default value is /n. /n means new line. Default n means /n, or you can say new line. Right now, if you do not type anything, it gives you a /n, that is the n. Now, if it is a file, now file means a file name, right? Now, where to write? Where to write, or something to write. Therefore, default value is system.standard output. That is why we see in the console. Right now, flush means whether the output is flushed or not. If it is flushed, we have true. Okay, default is true. Default is true. Right, default is true. Now true means flushed, and false means buffered. Right, now we can just ignore because all these values are optionals. Right, now we'll see how this separator works. How this separator works and everything we'll try out. Right, now here let's leave this for a while. While loop, and then we'll just have some print statements and see. Right now, you know already. Right now, when you have two values, right now when you have two values, how can you separate? Right now, let's say hello. We have been printing J, comma do, right? Let's say hello Jane do. We have variable also name equal, okay, x equals hello, and y equals 1 2 3, and if I have x equals j into comma y. Right now, if I do it now, right now, how comes this? Right, hello j into 1 2 3. You can see the default is space. Now the default is space, right? Now the default is space. Right, now I want to separator, I want to change. So I'm gonna mention it as comma separator is equals to what? I'm gonna say underscore. I'm gonna just mention separator is underscore. Now you can see here output is right now we'll have two lines, then it's easier now. Right now to see the difference. Right, when you do not pass one separator, right, by default is space, so it will give you the spaces. But if you pass the separator as the underscore, now default is right now space is the default, which has been overwritten by the value you have passed underscore. Now every object separated by the underscore. Right now, if you use hyphen, right, no worries, then it will get separated by the hyphen. Right now, if you want to have a tab space, let's check /t whether it works. Now you can see everything separated by a tab space. Right now, let's say if I want to separate by new line, /n. I'm going to put /, and that means every word, every object separated by new line. Right. So this is how you use the separate right now, and then the end. Right now, let's say now this is what I have. I'm just going to put hyphen. Okay. Right. And then yeah, this is how you do it now. Right. Then I'm going to print again. Print one. Let's say print I'm gonna use what I want to use at the end. How to do it now? Print hello, and I have print hello, and I have another statement called print Jane. Print hello Jane. Hello John. Hello John. Print John Smith. Hello John Smith. Right now this is what I have. Now you know here. Now it will print line after the line, right? Hello in one line, John in one line, Smith in one line. But now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say end is equals to nothing. I'm going to say end by space, so end by nothing. Right now what happens now we'll see. I'm going to say end by nothing. End equals nothing. And for Smith also, I'm not going to put 10 because I want to cursor to move to the next line. Right now, see, there's the cursor is moving to the next line here. Right now, you can see hello Jane Smith, cursor moves to the next line. And here also, if I have put the end equals nothing. Right now, this space should not be appear now. See, hello John Smith is not appearing now. Hello John Smith is there, but the space after that is not appearing now. This is gone now. Right now, this happens right because I have specified the end as nothing, right? No, right now. If you want, you can have /t. Let's say right now in order to end with the /t tab space. Now, if you mention /t means tab space, then hello John Smith. Like now, this is 3 print statements. That means after printing hello, it leaves a tab space. After printing, at the end, it leaves a tab space. And it prints John and leaves the tab space. And after printing Smith, it leaves the tab space. Right now, this is not about separating the objects because we have only one value at the each node. Is that clear? Right now, if I have name equals, let's say there's another variable called name, something called 2 objects. Hello, 1, 2, 3, John. Let's say x equals y equals 1, 2, 3. No? Hello and y if you have hello y and John y and Smith y. Right now the y value just print 1, 2, 3 and hello John. Right now the problem here is now the separation is by default. Now the separation is by default because I have not used the parameter separator. I have just passed only the end parameter. Then end is this. Since what you have to learn is, if you do not use the end here, it would be /n. It is /n. Default is /n. Therefore, it will go to the new line. Therefore, if you don't want this, if it is at the end, if you want to have dots, if you want to have 2 dots, right now this is how you put. That means after hello 1, 2, 3 prints 2 dots and the next line. John 1, 2, 3, 2 dots. Let's say, and again, here in between hello and 1, 2, 3, if you want to have a separation as @ sign, at sign. Now what happens? Now hello at 1, 2, 3, because the separation we have mentioned at sign. And here in between these objects also, if you want to have separation, you can have it. Right now, what I wanted to show you is, by default, print statement passes separator as space and end as new line. Therefore, keep that in your mind for the moment. The standard out and the file inputs, those things we will discuss later on, and flush and buffering we will discuss later. Right now for the separator and the end, that's for the time being. Right now what I wanted to do is, now here I wanted to display the asterisks in the same line. Therefore I need to say equals end equals this. So I am printing the asterisk, and the next line also prints on the same, and after this it gives you a space, it takes you to the next line. So it prints one for the first time, it will run 1 times, and this empty print statement takes me to the next line. Now like this I can print this star pattern. Right now I want you to quickly figure out how to do the reverse of it. Right now 5 asterisks, 4 asterisks, 3 asterisks, 2 asterisks, and 1 asterisk. If you put like j is less than or equals to 5 also, not by j less than or equals to 1, what will happen now? How many asterisks will printed on each line? Is that, can you say about the pattern? It will be a square, right? Because 5 asterisks for 5 times. 5 asterisks for 5 times it will get printed. Looks like a rectangle, right? But now you can see here, this is what it should print. Right now, if when j is less than or equals to I, every time j value is run number of times which I is known, then you will get half of this. Then you will get only a triangle. Right. Now I want to print the reverse of it, and then later on you can think of, as a homework, you can think right now how to print this part of it. Now we have printed this now. If you wanted to print this, how can you print this? Now we have printed this part of it now. How can you print this? This is homework. Oh, how can you print it as a pyramid, the other half of the answer? Right, how to do it this, and thereafter how to do the reverse of this. That's what you have to do as a homework. Think. Right, for the time being, now I want you to try out, just work with this separator and then for a time, 2 or 3 examples try out, and then you could try with this pattern. Right now I want you to try with this is what we have done, right? No, we have done the other way. I want you to try this. Quickly do it. Any questions you can ask? If I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 5, that is to run the first loop is to give you the spaces, line breaks. Second loop is to print the asterisks. Right now I value is, while j is greater than I, okay, j is starting from 5. 5 is greater than or equals to 1 for 5 times. Right, okay, great. Minus equals 1. Yes, good. Right now, the opposite of it. The other half. The left half of this one. Think as a homework how to do the other part. Right now, we have done many exercises today, and especially what we discussed apart from the exercises are how to use the while loop with the break keyword, how to use the while loop with the continue keyword, and how to use the while with else. That's what we have done so far. And then I think I'm not going to planning to do much exercises after this. Right now, therefore, once you have a break, you can search for while loop exercises and then you can try out. Now, here we have discussed about the break, continue, and the else. Yes. Then we can start with the for loops. So I'm not planning to start the for loop now. So if you have any questions up to now, you can ask. After the for loops, we'll be starting with the collections framework. That means we're going to talk about list, set, tuples, and the dictionaries. So beforehand, any questions up to now you can ask, please. Yes, the first while loop is to have the line breaks here, and the second while loop is to have the spaces, nested first loop, and nested second loop is to print the asterisks. Now this x means the number of spaces required, then I equals 5, and then 5 minus 5 is 0 spaces. Now here it says 0 spaces, so j equals 1, and while j is less than x, j less than 0 false, right? Therefore no spaces required here, then all asterisks. When I become 4, x equals 5 minus 4, then x equals 1. Only one space required, one space. See? And when x, right now, if you want, we can just go around, one round. Initially, when I is equals to 5, and then x value become 5 minus I, 5 minus 5, which is 0, no spaces. Then while loop it checks 0 less than no equals to j is equals 1, right? So it checks 1 less than no equals to 0, therefore it won't run. Therefore no spaces. Then k value is set to 1. K is 1 less than no equals to I value is 5. 5. Therefore this will run for 5 times. Therefore it will print 5 asterisks like this. This is how it's gonna work. And next time I become 4, when I become 4, x is equals to 5 minus I, 5 minus I become 4, 5 minus 4, x equals 1. Then it checks j equals 1, 1 less than no equals to 1. Therefore it can run one time. Therefore one space. And then the while loop finishes. Then k is equals 1, then k equals 1. It checks for 1 less than or equals to I means 4. 1 less than or equals 4, therefore this is going to run 4 times. Therefore now here this will run 4 times. Here it will run 4 times now. Now this one space is run by this. Now when I equals 3, then x become 5 minus 3 become 2, and then j value is 1, 1 less than or equals to 2. Yes, this is going to run 2 times. Therefore, 2 spaces here. 2 spaces now. See, that is 2 spaces. Now, k equals 1. K less than or equals to I equals 3. Therefore, this will run 3 times now. Therefore, this loop will run 3 times, then 3 asterisks. Likewise, this is how we're going to work out. Try out at home. And then find out how to print the entire pyramid like this, and like this part, and then this part as well. Try to complete the entire pyramid part by part if required, and see how you can do it. Okay, thank you very much. Then we'll wind up for today. Since you had no questions, we'll wind up. Thank you.